Worrying about the past events of my life. I feel like my life has been just like a roller coaster of emotions and events of most some of the times, like past relationships, past jobs I could have been successful at. Like I think about the past sometimes and I look back at my life. I look back at the moments, the experiences, the good times, the bad times, the terrific times, the surprising times. So many different times of my life have been felt like, I don't know if you all feel this way, that you're in the future and you're in the past as well. Because I read this book, and the book's called Skill Finder 2.0. Don't quote me on that, but you take this skill based test and it gives you your three greatest traits for the future. Mine is futuristic, significance, and focus. And I think I am really focused, like really focused on the things I do and the thing like planning stuff out. I don't know if some of you are like planners, you like to plan your week out or planning your month out, like what's happening. Like, am I going to hang out with friends this day, or I'm going to go to a company party this day? Let me know if you guys map your life out a little bit, because what I know is the more you map out your life, the more of like thinking about your past events really prepares you for the future. So those three traits of being futuristic, focus, and significance, like the futuristic part is definitely me. I like planning in the future, thinking about stuff that's about to happen, and planning planning a trajectory for my life. And there's been so many horrific events, especially in the past, of like past relationships failing. Like my girlfriend breaks up with me, she blocks me, and I'm crying in the car. And and before that event, like leading up to that event, there's a couple events of like, for say, like the crying in the car, that there like like I break up with her and then she wants to get back with me, so she texts me again and then we meet up and then we cry and then we were like, oh, we're gonna get past this, and we never get past it. It was never going to happen that we're going to get past it, because we're just not, like, we had our thing and then we moved on. Like we had our 6 month thing that was like really good. You got this like really solid part of like, for say, a relationship. You get that really great part, and then you get that really sucky part. You're like, okay, should I like keep on to this, or should I like let this thing go? And you gotta make that decision for yourself. So, I mean, you could keep thinking about the past, but I think it's better to think about the future. Because if you're thinking about the future, you're thinking about, what can I do for myself? What can I do about what can I do leading, like where do I want to go? Where do I want to go in life? Like, where am I heading? Where am I going? And I drive around Philadelphia, and most people are in poverty. I drive past the more poverty areas, and I think there's not a lot of people thinking about the future. I mean, there's actually some buildings that are like new construction that I'm like super hyped about, that they're building. So they're building these new constructions in Philadelphia. I think it's like, hands down, I think Philadelphia is going to be like a super hot spot of like new development and businesses, because I think there was like a Michael Jordan article I read that they're making a Nike Jordan store in Philadelphia. I'm so bullish on that, because Philadelphia had this like low point, I feel like, for a long time, but dude, it's going up. Like, it's about to have the highest points of its freaking life. That's what I think. And think about the future. Like, thinking about the future, what can Philadelphia be? Like, what can Philly transform into? Like thinking about those kinds of things. Thinking about the future. Think like future relationships, future things I want to get done. Like, do I want to buy a car or a house? Do I want to buy new sneakers? Thinking about the future really give you something to look forward to day by day, and not thinking about the past horrors and nightmares of, like, driving around Philadelphia and people almost crash into me and all these bad events. And, some good, mostly good events, but we can't stay in the past. We gotta be futuristic thinking of what we can do. Like, can we create a better community? How can we build up how can we build up a community? Especially these young kids. These young kids need guidance. I mean, I'm 26 years old. I'm considered young still. In my past jobs, a lot of these elders think of me of themselves or becoming one of them, of like my ambition, of my futuristic things I want to put into the company. Like, for say, like bonuses. Like, how Uber and Lyft, as drivers, you have all these bonuses. Like, I want to create that into jobs. Like, okay, I do this amount of things in this hour, and then I get a bonus. So it makes you stand out from the crowd. And there's not, like, jobs are so boring nowadays. Like, that's why so many people are interested in entrepreneurship and the futuristic stuff that they can do to make more money. It's, especially inflation's through the roof. So, like, having hyperinflation, there has to be like entrepreneurs like thinking of like new ideas to help everyone. Not just themselves, selfishly thinking about themselves, but thinking about futuristic things that they can put into jobs that are keep the youngins engaged, the millennials, or whatever you want to call them, the new generation, because they need this the most. I think in 10 years from now, jobs are going to be like remote, like make your own schedule, like negotiate your own pay, having like different responsibilities in the company. I think all these different things that they can implement, like bonuses and stuff, like having constant bonuses, like daily, weekly, monthly, yearly bonuses, not just for the executive workers, but for the lower class workers too. What I think, because you know, at the end of the day, you gotta spread out the wealth. You can't just be all greedy. Like, there's these business people that are so greedy, they don't want to spread out the wealth to like everyone else. They want to have all for themselves. But at the end of the day, you gotta spread the wealth, spread the guidance to the youth, develop what the youth is gonna be. Educate them on what is possible by seeing what the elders are doing and these new upcoming entrepreneurs are building, like AI, robots, all this stuff that's developing. Who knows if it goes good or bad, but I would be scared if there's robot cops. When police pull me over to begin with, I'm terrified. Imagine if that was like a robot cop, like in the future, like a robot cop that's pulling you over. That would be very scary. I don't know. Like, what would it feel like when a robot cop pulls you over? Like, think about all this future stuff that the government can make, and Bitcoin, all these cryptocurrencies, and all this stuff that's developing. There's all this great stuff, and we gotta think about the future. Comment below what you think about the future. What stuff you feel like that's going to be developed, and subscribe on Patreon and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Helps me out a lot. Thanks for watching. Jeremy the Entrepreneur out.